I recently just got a comment saying for me to do a World War III scenario. Thank you. So basically, for this first part is basically only going to be me explaining what's happening, why this happened. So first of all, we have Russia's war in Ukraine being the answer, and Finland Sweden's application to join NATO. So what happens is into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, they officially declare war and call in Belarus. Finland gets into NATO and um but doesn't tell anyone for a few days. Russia, in that time period, because they have their full military ready, invades Finland, causing Article 5 of NATO to be activated. With this, we have the war going into insanity. With Turkey being in here, we obviously have Azerbaijan joining in, as well as Georgia, because who likes Russia? Serbia joins in because they're friends with Russia, leading to the whole thing in the Balkans. I know it's more complicated than this, but let's just say they all are on the blue team. Because of Russia, we see Iran join the war, which caused the whole thing in the Middle East. Also gave the Kurds and the SDF their land as occupied. This also sent Russia calls in CIS, um, which is basically which if you didn't know is like it's like a weird alliance in with Russia's former Soviet territories. So pretty much, yeah, they call that in. Kyrgyzstan actually joins the blue team because they're in active conflict with Tajikistan. Pakistan joins in because of Iran, which leads India to join. China joins in. Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan help out India. Myanmar or Burma, despite being extremely weak, and goes against India. We have Thailand being neutral and Laos staying out of it because they're a bit poor. Sorry if you can hear my air conditioner. It's like there's an alert going on in Ohio, okay? And if you're on my desk, it's just me killing flying ants because they're everywhere. We have Cambodia deciding to join on this war after Vietnam joins in, though. Someone's revving their truck outside. Very cool. We have Hong Kong and Macau breaking off, as well as Taiwan. North Korea joins in because reasons, and South Korea obviously declares war. We have Japan joining in because of South Korea and the islands they have a debate over. All of Oceania joins the blue team, as well as Indonesia, Malaysia, and um, S- Singapore, and surprisingly Brunei. We have the Philippines being the Philippines, and then we get to Africa. Oh, wait, actually, wait. We should talk about North America. With these two countries joining in, Canada and America because of NATO, we have some influence going around. We have Venezuela, declaring war on the blue team, as well as Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Honduras is friends with Nicaragua, so that happens, leading to basically an entire coalition of the Americas against these four countries, or five, I should say. And so that happens. I know relationships between Brazil and Argentina aren't the best from what I've heard, but whatever. So now we go into Africa. Egypt holds relationships with Saudi Arabia, so they joining on behalf of them. Um, we also have Djibouti joining in against Saudi Arabia. Oh, by the way, Yemen's here too. Ethiopia declares war on Somalia, seeing opportunity, leading to that whole East African situation. South Sudan joins Ethiopia to get a hold of Sudan. We have most of the Arabic world because Israel joins in. I know the map doesn't have Palestine. You can recognize it if you want. I believe in the two-state solution, but whatever. Let's just say, for the sake of this video, that doesn't happen. We have most of the Muslim world declaring war on the blue team because of Israel. Um, with Algeria doing this, we have Morocco declaring war on them, as well as the Western Sahara declaring war on Morocco. Tunisia decides to be an outlier in this situation, and Algeria forces Mauritania to join so they can march troops into Western Sahara. Over in we also have Niger joining this war, as well as Nigeria because they're allies. With this, because no one really likes Nigeria, so we see a massive East African coalition against them. The Democratic Republic of Congo joins in, setting off a whole lot of fireworks. We have Kenya joining in against Ethiopia for reasons, and Rwanda is more eastern leaning, I'd say, so Burundi declares war on them. We have the Chads of Southern Africa joining in on this war. Angola joins the side of the red team, and we have Chad being too Chad for this war. So we basically have every mainland country in Africa, the ones that aren't islands, staying, not being neutral. Afghanistan is neutral because the Taliban doesn't really have, they're not really they're chill with Pakistan, but they wouldn't fight for them. They just like them because they give them weapons, basically. Uh, so with this, we see the first actions of the war coming into play, and that happens in North America because America is huge. With this, we see the instant naval invasions of Honduras and Nicaragua by the U.S. Costa Rica doesn't have a military, but the U.S. supplies it with military assets, so they're able to push in with U.S. troops. They're able to take over Nicaragua. El Salvador set some personal scores for themselves against Honduras, and Guatemala and Belize team up together to take out the rest of Honduras. Over in over in Cuba, we have the invasion actually working this time because the last time someone decided, you know what, let's scale back our invasion plans. That's just a good idea, isn't it? Haiti gets absolutely clapped by the Dominican Republic, as they don't really have a country. I know they're cool with the U.S., but I just decided they're kind of in the influence sphere of Cuba. I would have made Mongolia neutral with even a blue team member, but they're kind of in the sphere of influence as well. India could have been neutral, but Pakistan joined this war, so yeah, that's my reasons. Don't get snarky about it in the comments. We have France or French Guiana walking into Suriname, and Guyana does the same. USA makes a landing in Suriname, and Brazil pushes up from the south. With this, all these lines meet up together and encircle the country. Venezuela, it looks very attackable, so the U.S. and the Bahamas decide to do that together. Um, Pablo Escobar land also starts invading Venezuela. That's basically how all Americans see Colombia. What are you talking about? Brazil also invades from the south again. Wow. And Guyana launches a small offensive. With Venezuela being the deadliest country to live in by violent crime rates, Chicago exists in the U.S. though, so it might even out the competition, but still. No. So while I'm coloring in this invasion, I'm gonna tell you a fact. It turns out Vatican actually has the highest crime rate, but it's not violent crimes. It's just pickpocketing because it's such a tourist attraction for some reason. I mean, hey, it looked like all social media influencers became state atheists, but whatever. So with this, we see the full encirclement and basically the fall of Venezuela is ready. It gets cut off into two, and eventually we have the Venezuelan government surrendering, I should say. So with this, the Americas are fully dealt with, and the USA and co can start pushing in troops to Europe and Africa. We have Djibouti and Ethiopia pushing into Eritrea or Eritrea, whatever, and they're almost able to completely knock out the country. Over in the Arabian Peninsula, we have Saudi Arabia pushing in. We have Saudi Arabia pushing into Yemen. Oman does the same for their Arab brother. And with this, all these countries on the blue team, considering that they don't really rely on China anymore, they all just start recognizing the genocide that's committed there. Also, one of the I forgot to mention this, but one of the reasons that that a lot of Africa joined in on the blue team was because if you didn't know, China kind of has slaves in Africa. Yeah, that's a thing. I mean, someone else also has slaves in Africa. Thank you, Nestle. So, yeah, that's part one. This kind of took a while to explain, but whatever. We'll return.